Session 36. Yikes. Well, we're now, I think that solidly puts us past the Star Wars, no matter how many game systems you decide to add into that. I think that puts us well past. Star Wars, I think, was about 30, give or take. So we're well past that. We're rocketing towards that the Interminable Amber campaign, honestly. I don't know how long the D&D game went on, but it's definitely, I mean, it definitely put this one's definitely come up into my top 3 or something like that just for duration. A D&D game that Margie
for a long time. It was really regular.
Yeah, the D&D game was like
thing.
every
there were very
week.
few misstepped sessions.
No. And what did we get to, like level 19 and a half or something like that out of 20? So that was
Weren't we higher than that? I don't know, because I kept on multi.
20 was as high as 3.5 went, and we almost got there. And some people might have gotten there, except I think the people that were closest to getting there had like a death that set them back like half a level or something like that.
Yeah, people like me who were taking builders hither and yon.
Triple class plus prestige classes or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you had some.
That was definitely a twitch character.
Oh, you think?
It was a lot of fun to play.
Somehow, this is the problem that people think of you as harmless, and then you play a rogue character, and they put you in charge of keeping track of the group's money. Like, Margie, are you just do all the accounting when we count up treasure? And there's this long pause, and she's like, yeah, I can do that, sure. Because I think based on the logic that you did statistics, so you'd be good with numbers, I think was how that went.
Your account level is at this, plus or minus that.
Well, I mean, basically, they got to the point where your skills were high enough where I just gave everybody what the totals were, and then later I slid her a note saying, this is the cut that she took. And I just sort of like, if there was a nice juicy piece that would like slide right off the top and comprise 10 to 15% of the total haul, so you weren't level 20, but I think you were worth about 5 times more than everybody else.
Probably.
Give or take.
Not my fault.
It's interesting. I don't know what I did. You guys can hear me okay, but for some reason, now this time, I can't hear myself in my headset. I could last week, but I can't today.
You're fine.
It's so weird. I don't know what. Oh, Windows. Oh.
Is there nothing you can't mess up?
Oh, computers. Well, it's not. I don't care. I wish it would decide when we're there. It just seems to be sort of random. And honestly, I have enough of Colorado weather without my computer acting like Colorado weather. And being not only unpredictable but inexplicable. All right. When we last,
I love telling people that like I went from 80 degrees on Sunday to snow on Monday.
Mm-hmm. When Margie, have you been caught up at all on recent events?
I read the summary and I read your prep notes.
Which, sketchy.
But
they were more like reminders than anything else. Like, this is all the stuff that's currently kind of going on to one degree or another. That's what it basically boils down to. All right, so when we last left our heroes, we had, well, actually, we can probably move things forward just a little bit here. So let's talk about where things are now, because I think that was right after, wasn't it right after school on like Friday?
Yeah, I got called away from my library date, so.
Right. So that was sort of like an end of, it was either a Thursday or a Friday. And with everything.
So I just want to say that Vector had a specific timeline for pickup. meeting that was something that Leo very, very definitely did want to do. If that's just simply not going to happen, like, let me know. But
Vector?
The time travel guy.
Right. Well, there were a couple of windows, and I absolutely want to do that. And thank you, because I completely forgot about that. It didn't get on my little magic list there.
I've been putting that in my checklist after each recap.
So yeah, I just forgot to get it up there on all the stuff going on. So that's another thing. So yeah, there's a couple of windows there. Certainly one of them could be was going to be in the next couple of days, and kind of lies. Inside, outside, various things. All right, so we have, at this point in time, Aegis has custody of 2 Rossums, 1 Alicia, at least one of the Rossums is in Aegis custody, as well as Ted being alive thanks to Charlotte turning them insubstantial when Concord got all blasty and brought down a bunch of robots.
But
There's
no link.
There's at least 1 or 2 robots on that roof. They didn't all land on that roof, but they're scattered. Yeah, there's a bit of a cleanup. It's not exactly like that fight after the Chitauri and Avengers, like that much stuff, but there's an area around the Two Rivers plant where robot bits are probably getting.
So there presumably was some other robots left, because there were robots down below that stopped shooting at us when we had Rossum, and there must have been others still en route.
Yeah, there were a lot that had gotten there by then, but over the course of the next hour or two, and at the behest of Aegis or yourself, the little Rossum wristband or whatever could be send the signal to stand down, return to standing orders. Probably stand down for the least amount.
I was going to say, could they fly back to their old jobs? Yes. Or what could possibly go wrong there?
Sorry about that. No. Yeah, I don't think that's probably what they would do. They would probably have them go into some sort of send them to these coordinates, and they're like in a impound yard, like an Aegis impound yard somewhere outside the city limits, just all standing in ranks like terracotta soldiers. A bit the worse for wear. No, I mean there's probably, there were at least 1,000 out there, but there's definitely more around. And there's still a lot of those that are in Rook properties. There was a range limit on the initial orders that were issued to those things to call them in to first come and get Rossum once they figured out where he was on the hidden island, and then to pivot around and come after the other Rossum and stuff like that. So it isn't like every Rook bot that Rossum had in rotation or anything like that.
So what's going on with all those other Rook bots that were still casually guarding banks and manning crosswalks?
Rook is they wouldn't be around here certainly, but Rook is I'm trying to think what the press release would say, but they are looking into their
mandatory recall notice.
They're looking into their the hardware level security programming for all of their bots. They've issued a recall, and in about 18 hours. They amended that to a recall and refund. It isn't as wide. So here's the thing. Most of their clientele, Rook's biggest customer for this kind of stuff is itself. It's been using this tech for itself or to augment services that it provides, like, the security at the airport, things like that. There are people that have availed themselves of the fact that they could get these things for the last 6 months or so, But generally speaking, these are high-end bespoke places like the little boutique jewelry shop, or they're larger organizations. So anybody who's getting burned by this and having to deal with the recall, refund, blah blah blah, are all kind of rich. So
how is the presence in Silicon Valley?
Yeah, I mean they've got that kind of thing, but again, they're mostly like showpiece or brag pieces or something like that. Nobody's.
Oh, you mean like a convertible?
At the party.
What's that?
Like a convertible in space?
Yeah. So
I was gonna say, the fabulous people at their parties conspicuously have a Rookbot standing guard there.
Yeah, but they also had bouncers, and that was the thing is like they didn't. Not some places were like this is going to be our security, but Rook's the only one who really embraced it, like full on, because it was their stuff. And some people did. I mean, like the jewelry shops, things like that. They didn't, that was what they used. But generally speaking, it was kind of the well-off. So the general outrage about this whole thing is low because people are finding it very, very easy to manage their outrage on behalf of the insanely wealthy. Like that's really easy for most people to go, I have decided that I can move on with my life rather than feel bad that Bill Gates' 2 Rookbots have to be returned.
I actually called out an exception to this, which is the airport security.
Yeah.
If a bunch of robots come out of the airport, I predict at least the flights are going to be grounded until they figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. There's
an awful lot of people.
Well, there was some street level damage and stuff like that. I mean, people might not be feeling sorry for the rich robot owners, but they might be outraged that these robots that the rich were buying, caused all this kerfuffle.
Exactly, it's causing as much consternation. I mean, honestly, the anger about it is because it's caused as much blowback to the people who bought the things as it did to Rook in some places, because it was like, your neighbors are now mad at you because your bot like broke stuff headed, leaving in other people's businesses or, things like that. The general outrage is about, I would say, at the public level, is probably Dieselgate if you're a Volkswagen owner. Like, which, if for those of you who did not own a Volkswagen and, found Dieselgate to be really not that big of news, that's probably how most people are looking at it. Because it doesn't impact them. They don't care. It's only conceptually a bad thing because, emissions. It's like every car is 40 cars. And then you got the people who actually had the things, and it was the news of 2017.
It was probably for those folks. It was probably more, another auto company caught doing something crooked. Big surprise. We're gonna mistrust all technology companies now a little bit more.
Yeah, these people who convert hypertech to non-hypertech had their non-hypertech hypertech copies act up. This is my surprise face. But Rook is now, that's at the public level. At the corporate level, at the financial level, at the governmental level, the blowback is much more significant. If you're somebody on the ground, a regular person who follows politics and stuff, that there's a tremendous amount of kerfluffle going on with this. You can easily imagine some scenarios where this could have been a lot worse too, because the bots never got to the point where they actually, there was never a point at which the Rook branded robots attacked an Aegis facility, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's certainly a scenario where that could have happened, and it would have been very, very, very bad for Rook. More so than it was. As it was, you had Rook branded robots attacking a decommissioned nuclear plant, and that's not great press either. The fact that it happened in Halcyon City maybe washes that out a little bit, because crazy shit happens in Halcyon City all the time. So, okay. Rook is playing a lot of, we too are victims in this, And they're honestly at the public level, and you go to your basic talking heads on news and stuff like that, where what they're taking the most heat for isn't the fact that it happened, is that they didn't do their due diligence on their security and they allowed it to happen. Like they didn't see this coming. It'd be like Microsoft's one cloud service being taken down by a virus, you know, like an external virus, just because they didn't follow their own mandated security or something. So it's ugly. It's a big black eye, but thus far it has not snowballed to, you know, except for things like the airport. So they're not getting, there's no good press for Rook at this point. There's only less bad press. But there aren't any torches and pitchforks either in most cases. Airports maybe. They're scrambling TSA people from other places so they can run they can run at half to 3/4 capacity, that kind of stuff. It's not pretty. The cities
and the widely announced plans by the TSA to bring in for this big contract that had been awarded to Rook for replacing TSA agents with cool, calm, efficient robots, quietly shelved.
Yes.
At least for a few news cycles.
And again, at the governmental level is where a lot of that anger is, because Halcyon City is having to shell out for all these people, getting pulled in, getting shipped in, overtime, all that other kind of stuff, and they're all far from best pleased with Rook at this point. There's about 6 hours of a 24-hour news cycle that goes to the, surprising tone deafness of the Quill organization, who, being faced with a bot uprising, decided to double down and swarm the city with their own bots.
Share some bots.
It's like, what? I mean, we understand, and based on the press, like what they were attempting, and have to admire we have to admire the
chutzpah,
the instinct towards good Samaritanism, while we are still gobsmacked at the utter naivety of it. That sort of narrative. Barbara texts you with just 3 words. 4 words. Gobsmacked at utter naivety, with quotes around it, and that's all she texts until the next day. It's a good quote. Okay, so Aegis has shuttled Rossums off to separate facilities. There is, I'm trying to think. I feel like probably a day goes by into the weekend before a number of you are probably in some way, shape, or form find yourselves in a conversation with Aegis. And that would be Alicia, Leo, and Concord. Probably.
Wait, why am I here? I don't work for them.
You don't work for them, but they are on superhero.
But they all saw your icon.
They are on superhero oversight, and I don't. That is a good. I'm not sure if you would. Yeah, I don't know if you wouldn't be. I don't know that you'd necessarily be brought in, but you would definitely be a subject for conversation with somebody from the team.
Oh no, I mean, I will be there. It's just like...
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if they would call you in specifically, or if they would, because they know enough about the... Or do they? How did we leave that? Was Aegis kind of clear on your personal identity, or no? They weren't, were they? No, they were, because
I-
your mom was there for like some of the testing and stuff, right? So they know who your mom is and stuff, right? She was like waiting upstairs when you were doing some of your testing at one point.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, like, they know who I am.
You know, it was some pretty. You know what? Actually, okay. So let's just go around here. I think one of the scenes is probably we're gonna start with Alicia talking to Parker, Special Agent Parker. And
Is this in lieu of, in addition to to the bit that I threw out there as a cutscene?
which one?
Uh-oh.
I don't think I missed anything, but what was it called?
No, that's yours.
Debrief.
Debrief, 35.2.
There's a link in Roll20.
Okay, hang on. Oh, right. No, you know what? I think I missed this one.
Uh-oh.
Hang on. Let me catch up. Give me a minute. Oh my God.
I'm glad I said something.
Oh my Lord, Dave. All right, hang on a sec. Let me skim through here.
Now you know how I feel when I come back after being gone for a week.
Well, I was trying to keep up, but
Apparently.
Margie, for you and James, I tried to make an effort not to do any really plot sensitive stuff in the forums, but I still write stuff.
unfortunately,
No, it's good. We have Dave to
which is good because Dave's takes the opposite approach.
we have Dave
Aw.
to sort of filter through and tell us what we need to read first. I love reading all of it. Don't get me wrong. It's just sometimes prioritizing.
That's fair.
All right, let me see. Okay. Okay, sorry. And it's dead silence here, and I apologize.
No. That's I will take it as
You have a program to fix that.
Do I? Yeah, I do. At least for the podcast part of it. Okay. No, that'd work. I like that. Fighting's for the young. You graduate to murder when you're older. All right. So yeah, based on that,
moving right along to Leo.
well, no. The next couple of days are probably then more concerned with she actually ends up pulling you out of your weekend confinement quite a bit to work with fabrication teams, uh, gear squads, feedback on the bike, um, firing ranges for some of the firearms that they're, some of the stuff that they're coming up with, practice dummies. They're still working on getting most of it together, and some of it you just kind of, could you just leave me in here for a couple extra hours and I'll work on it. So there's a little bit of that where you're like sort of left under heavy supervision to tweak the jacket so that the sleeve connections to the batons are right, because they're just, you know,
Right.
they're not getting the freedom of movement thing plus actually making it work. So
Yeah,
you're either getting
Alicia
frig.
will probably be fairly, not too terribly critical, except to like, some of the little details. Because if Parker's ready to kind of let her have a little bit of
Which
free reign in terms of the gearing and stuff, she's not going to cause a problem about it at the moment.
Right, but at the same time she's like, listen, I don't want to put all this effort into it and find out it was half-assed because you didn't want to complain. So
Oh,
complain.
yeah.
Because it kind of feels like, you can have protection, solid contacts for your power leads, and flexibility. Select 2. And you're like,
Right.
I really kind of need 3, and they can't seem to figure out how to make those lines all connect. So that's where you're kind of being, brought in on all this stuff. Um, I don't think that I think as much as Ted is able to, he's going to try to keep Leo away from Aegis headquarters. But hmm 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 hmm. Yeah, he'll probably come by. Where Leo's still at the sort of the I keep wanting to call it the Grange. He's still at the carriage house, right? At
Yeah.
Okay. I think he would probably swing by on it, like call it Sunday afternoon or something, um, for a catch up and that sort of thing. Uh, well, neither of us are out of a job yet, so call that a good thing, I suppose. How are you feeling, kid?
I don't know. I mean, the whole reason that I became a hero like this was to stop people like my dad, and I just stopped 2 of my dad. Like, how do you top that?
Oh, I mean, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but there's a lot of bad out there that isn't your dad. Uh, I mean, I can understand. Yeah, he goes, that's a really. There are people I know. I can give you a list if you want, who started down the road you did because of a person, and the problem with that is once that's done, then they don't really. They end up being a bit left at loose ends, I think.
Oh, no, 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 no. You guys have a hold of this guy who showed me an entire future history for me to fix. I'm going to be busy for a while.
Well, then I'll just stop with what I was about to say. As long as you still feel like you've got something to work on, then I think we're all going to be just fine. I won't sugarcoat things too much. Aegis is a little bit grumpy about us beating up some of their people, for all that they were uh, brainwashed at the time. So there was a little bit of ruffled feathers that needed to be smoothed on that. I don't think any of them will be inviting you to Chuck E. Cheese for their kids' birthday parties anytime soon. Uh, count that as a blessing.
There's a handful of ageist people I like seeing, and you're one of them, so I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of tough talk around what ended up happening out there at the island and even what happened a little bit later. They're not too worried about you exactly, mostly because they got a 2-for-1 deal on your dad. And that seems to have made them pretty happy. They're more than a little bit concerned about Concord. How is he doing?
I got to check up on him actually. He's doing okay as far as I know, but I think I'm overdue for a call to him. So yeah.
Yeah, you might want to make that a little bit sooner rather than later. Generally speaking, when somebody inside of any city limits does something that can be spotted from the Lagrange point, people get extremely nervous. So, yeah, we'd like to get an idea of what's going on there. Also, we're catching, there's some news going around in certain circles about some folks that kind of resemble him more than a little. They've been active in some of the other major population centers around the world. And if he's got, or any of you for that matter, have any information about that, we probably want to hear about it.
I think he wants to hear that, so I'll let him know.
All right. Out of all of it, I mean, it came out about as well as it could probably. And we've got Rook rubbing quite a bloody nose, and I don't know. That might shake out all kinds of problems down the road. But for right now, the thing that they're left worried about is, they always are going to wonder whether or not myself and Special Agent Parker are really getting their job done, I suppose. And I think they're probably, some of them, or more than a few of them, are wishing that we had a better idea of what was going on with your friend, Concord. But other than that, I think if we could stay out of everybody's way for a couple of days, that'd probably make them all smile. Generally speaking, everything that they don't like anything as it's happening, but they can't really argue with the results. And I've made it quite a few years doing things that way, and it seems to have worked out so far. So I can't really complain. But you're all right?
Yeah.
None of robot blowback. The city, there's been a little bit of press about that kind of stuff. Any of that going on with you and yours?
They have their usual doubts, and I'm doing what I can to assuage those.
But they haven't run into anything from the.
Most people don't know. They keep that to themselves, kind of, you know.
What about Otto then?
Like, he hasn't talked to me about it, but generally speaking, like, he's got that civilian mode, you know, and when he's in that, like, nobody knows anyway. So,
right.
It's not really going to be a problem for him. He can always lay low.
And what you can't help but thinking about at that point in time is the fact that he's been spending a lot more time, like, on the Forza forums in the last couple of days too. So he really doesn't seem to be bothered by his identity as a robot right now. Although he does definitely have some things on his mind. But
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also been doing Phoenix wrangling, and that's been really exciting. I don't think. What?
Where is that? It? He? She?
It likes to fly. So when we're not doing something with it, it's just kind of out there somewhere.
Ted's eyes get a little bit wide at that. So it's just roaming around?
There's well, we got like this telemetry from the cockpit. It's got this kind of nest that it's building in the Appalachians.
He's 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 he's. Hang on. Somebody find me the blink GIF. I need that one. Oh my.
Appalachians aren't that remote.
Well, bits of them could be, but
Appalachians are hills. They are not mountains.
you can find quiet parts of them though that
Oh, great. More sources for Bigfoot rumors.
Here we go.
Bigfoot has chicken feet.
So there's a little bit of that going on. The GIF that I just shared in the chat when he's like building a nest in the Appalachians and Ted's just like, you know, someday when I come to give you news that's supposed to reassure you and make you breathe easier, I would take it as a kindness if you return the favor, as opposed to the other thing.
Okay, so you want me to give you something mundane for a change, right?
I'm almost afraid of what the next thing is going to be that you're going to say. Yes. I mean, I didn't. You know, here's the thing. I'm catching up, but generally speaking, when people tell me that they built a smart robotic transforming jet plane, I expect it to act like any of those three things and not a pet.
It's not really a pet. It just kind of shows up when we ask it to.
That's less reassuring. I don't know if you that.
So, Agent, have you seen Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them?
It's not exactly a pet. It's a wild creature that sort of listens to us and is, yeah. I'm going to.
Have you ever seen Born Free?
I have only now realized that, by and large, Phoenix's presence and participation has been sort of subsumed underneath the umbrella of your friends and partners, and hasn't been seen as a separate new thing that anybody needs to be worried about. Eventually, somebody is going to have that thought, but for right now, I am very, very glad that nobody has. What do you think it's going to do once it finds... So actually, as he starts to walk back to the car, he stops. He's like, what is it going to do once it finishes the nest?
It's going to lay its egg.
And he just kind of opens his mouth and closes it.
Nods.
Wait, I promised you something mundane. I got something for you.
you had something for that. You weren't just...
No, I'm serious. I need your help with something. Come back. It's okay.
He approaches cautiously, as though he's recently discovered a crate full of World War II era landmines resting in a basement in a puddle, and doesn't know whether to call the bomb squad or... Anyway.
Listen, and Lou's going to get real close and look around and be like, make sure nobody's listening.
Okay.
This is like state secrets information. He's like, listen, there's a girl that I want to impress. I want to get dressed up nice. I want some like cologne. I want to kind of like, get done up right. Do you know any shops in town where I can like, go for that kind of thing?
Oh, kid, I am the wrong person to ask for something like that. I haven't been on a date since before your father was born, I think.
Yeah, but you got like that distinguished older guy thing going on. Like, I respect that. I want to have that, like that gravitas that you have. So, whatever you got.
Give me... I'll send you something. Give me, I got to get back home, and I'm not even going to say that. I'm not going to say the word Rolodex. I got to go home and check my notes, and I will send you something.
Well, I appreciate that.
Got some
I just want
leftover
that
bottles of high karate from 1972.
What? He starts to walk away, and he comes back. He goes, "This you're not switching tracks or something, are you? I mean, my read has always been that your girl's pretty well impressed."
Yeah, but that's not really a thing that you achieve. It's a process.
Man, sometimes you.
Like if she's worth it, you got to keep showing her she's worth it.
Where did you figure out all this stuff? Yeah, I'll get you something, or I'll ask for advice from somebody who's. I'll get you something, kid. And yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. So, good job, man. I wish I had. Well, anyway, pats you on the shoulder and kind of heads back. Terrifying.
Now I just want that montage of Leo and Agent Waters hanging out for the afternoon with him taking him to get like his shoes shined and his hair cut and everything.
Trying on
Skipping rocks on a pond.
The silent montage.
No, it's gotta
basically
be.
that scent of a woman, but with the younger character like not so naive.
I was thinking actually the limo driver and Tom Hanks in Joe versus the Volcano, but with actually almost kind of the same scene, really, when you think about it. But yeah, Scent of a Woman.
That's funny because we've been going through Honor Harrington, and we just got to the point where Honor is asking her friend Mike for advice on makeup. So
Yikes. Okay. All right. So.
So Leo will talk to Concord at some point. I don't know if that's now or not, but
I'm gonna go to Concord because I think probably so Adam, by the time the house is weirdly quiet, by the time you wake up on Sunday. The folks obviously figured out what was going on Friday. Saturday, there was the requisite homework nagging and things like that. But Sunday's really quite quiet. They left you pretty much alone, or at least when you wake up, it's really quiet. And when you come out and kind of actually look around, it's just your dad kind of. I don't know, what would he be doing on a Sunday afternoon if your mom and your sister weren't around and you weren't up yet? What's it? Is he reading? Is he working on
sports?
Yeah, watching sports. Watching soccer.
Yeah, let's go with watching soccer.
Let's go with watching soccer. All right.
Yeah.
So he kind of makes noise. He's watching, but you get the sense that he's not really watching. Because you ask a little bit like, random, like who's winning, and he kind of like has to, like he doesn't know. He's got to like look at the screen and read the score and go, Manchester, I guess. Kind of thing. So he's really not tracking it the way you've seen him do that in the past. So you're getting breakfast and that kind of thing. He mentions in passing that Jordan had a birthday party to go to, so she's going to be, she and her mom are going to be gone for. He pulled the long straw, so he didn't have to take her to Chuck E. Cheese. This time it was
lucky.
Mom's go. And he kind of lets you get your breakfast and get things going. He's got a call today from uh, the same folks that brought you in early on for the test that your mom took you to over at
Yeah, I imagine that there's an emphasis on tests where it comes in with a capital T.
yeah
And so Adam knows exactly what he's talking
yeah
about.
and they now I want to say this again. Your mom and I are real proud of what you did a couple days ago. Um, I will admit I was a little bit surprised at the pictures that the newspaper and the news put up the next day. Kind of some of the things that we heard and stuff like that. It turns out that some of what seemed a bit odd to me, it does seem like it upset them a little bit too. So they just they weren't so much saying, they asked the question in kind of a funny way, kiddo, and I just want to make sure that they raised a question I had never really thought to raise. They didn't say don't have that kind of collateral damage around an area when you're having this kind of fight as much as possible, or that kind of thing. As try not to do that. What they asked me, was whether or not you could control the collateral damage when you were mixed up in a situation like that. And I never thought about that before. I've always just kind of worried about you handling the stress of it and everything like that. And it's what do you think? Are they completely out of? Are they just talking nonsense, or is this something that we need to worry about? Is this under?
So yeah, probably like in between bites of like breakfast and stuff like that, Adam's like just gotta be like, well, the lasers are new. Like, I didn't do any of that before. But now they're like, I feel like I'm getting good at it, but there was a lot of robots.
There were a lot of robots. What did the building do to you? Because that's more what they were. Well, I don't think that was the only thing they were concerned about, but that was something that they brought up a couple of times in terms of who else might have been staying there that didn't have anything to do with it, that might have, what would have happened if that had happened someplace where there were actually people.
Well, when I did one that big, everything got really hot around me. And I think if I just, there won't be a lot of robots all the time.
I understand what you're saying. But I've been doing my job in this city for a long time. And in my experience, kiddo, there's always going to be more robots or something. And most of the time, they don't show up where you don't always get to pick where they show up. Can you control this?
Yeah. Yeah, I can control this.
The tone with like he's not super comforted by that. But all right, I just I'm a little worried that right now with this, like you say, these lasers are new. That I really, really hope that you're being careful and thinking very carefully about the consequences of what you're doing, because you're swinging a really big stick around right now, and you wouldn't want it to hit somebody that you didn't mean to. Just be extra careful, especially right now if you've got some new things happening. All right, can we do that? And this is actually him kind of trying to shift your labels.
That sounds like he's trying to shift my labels.
He is, and I think what he's trying to shift is because he's worried about the power. I think he's trying to shift superior up and freak down.
I feel like he's trying to do danger down, just because it's like trying not to be
it is, except functionally for you, it's got to be freak because you do everything through freak.
Actually, I do some stuff through danger.
Do you do some stuff through danger?
Yeah, if I don't burn, then I still do everything through like the normal stuff.
Yeah,
so
I don't know. I think I don't know.
And
I think I want to go for freak because what he's concerned about is the powers.
okay.
I'm using the word danger, but I don't know that I mean the specific label. It's just the use of the powers. With all these new powers showing up, I need you to be really careful. So yeah, what he wants to do is you don't have to go for this obviously, but he wants to shift your superior up and your freak down.
No, I'm not fighting that.
You're not fighting that? All right. Also, we were talking, I don't know if you remember, but quite a few months ago about if you were going to head outside the city, you'd let us know beforehand if at all possible, right? Like well outside the city?
Yeah.
So what magazine do you guys get? Like, does your folks get, like your mom or something like that? Like that they get just like Time, like, some sort of period, like weekly periodical, like Time or Us or.
It's probably like some off-brand like Time magazine, like Now or something like that.
I love that. Now.
Just something that when somebody's watching at home, they're like, "That's Time magazine."
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Absolutely. So actually no. What it is the New Yorker. Or something equivalent, but yeah, it's because it's one of the covers that are always like done like by sort of cartoonists, and artists and stuff like that. Typically, they don't do like photo covers. That's the New Yorker, right? I'm thinking of the right one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a drawing there of like sort of the, fairly a very identifiable New York, like silhouette, and above it they've drawn a Concorde. They've drawn Concorde, like sort of flying in the air over the city, kind of a thing. And the little tagline at the bottom is, page 19, Concorde visits the Big Apple. So
I haven't been to. Concorde's just like, I haven't been to New York.
Oh, well, there's some pictures in there you might want to take a look at then, kiddo.
Do we then have a panel of Adam like looking at there, and do I take a powerful blow now?
Do you want to?
It seems like it, because before it was just like, oh man, there's a or maybe this is all in my brain. This is definitely not in my brain anymore.
And it's actually so they've got it's pretty great. I mean, the New York shots are actually pretty identifiable. Like there is definitely a Concorde, like the green one, like hanging in the like over Times Square. Not really interacting with him, but just sort of looking. And there's a couple more like much grainier ones. Tokyo, London, trying to think of another kind of Egypt, Cairo, that are much grainier. And there's links. There's come to our website. We've got a little bit of video and stuff like that. And it's not like everyone's just assuming it's you, spreading out for more global responsibility. What does Aegis think of this? That kind of, we haven't heard any, any information about that, but, nice to see him out away from Halcyon City, et cetera, so forth. But they're clearly matching up with the stuff that you saw in Streak's head. So yeah, why don't you take a powerful blow? Because that's definitely not in your head. As far as you know, New York is not in your head.
Let's see here. Buttons.
Who's got the buttons?
That's a close one.
It is a close one. And that's, you'd want to adjust it down, so it's probably not a good thing to adjust. Anybody want to spend a team to move it up to 10? I'm kidding. So
Leo calls at this moment. Hey, Aegis wants to talk to you.
They are super pissed, dude. Move it up to a 10. Where? Okay, let me look over at the thing. We got.
Lash out verbally, give ground, and struggle past the pain.
That's ugly.
I know, and give ground, like, I don't know what that would entail here.
You lash out verbally, provoke a teammate to foolhardy reaction, and take advantage of your influence to inflict a condition. You give ground.
As usual, I can make a suggestion if you like, but
I mean, so couple of provoking a teammate to foolhardy action might be. I could see a path there where, having looked at this, Concorde immediately calls Harry and says, "We need to get back in and see your dad, like right now. I need you to do whatever you need to do to like get your mom to do this."
Ooh, yes.
I need to get back in. We need to do this. Like
that is a good option right there.
So that's what Bill, I was thinking about there. What did Bill? What'd you have?
I like that one better than my suggestion, but for whatever it's worth, it was now that the New Yorker is talking about how Concorde is going out and being like this. Where are the calls for an interview?
No.
Yeah, don't like that at all.
Yeah, I think that is literally just like, bye, Dad, gotta go. Run into the room, start making phone calls to Harry right away.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah. So you provoke a teammate to foolhardy action or take advantage of your influence to inflict a condition. So, yeah, provoking. So I think it's actually. So anyway, and what a lovely way we can immediately jump over to Harry. Charlotte, we will get to you, I promise. I swear.
Okay.
So, what do you show? Like, what is your? Are you trying to play it cool with your dad, or you just go like, look at this and go, I need to talk to Harry, and you like, or you just walk out, or clutching the magazine, or what do you?
No, I think it's literally one of those things where it's like that little pan over to Adam's dad, and it's just like, son, I can understand if you want to like go out and see the world, and it pans back over to where Adam would have been, and then there's like the door closing.
Yeah.
Mic
And
off.
then probably just like that little smash cut over to Harry for the phone call.
Mic
Nice.
on. Mic off. Mic on.
Yeah. So do you now what the heck? Now I can hear myself.
I heard nothing.
Well, no, I can hear myself right now. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
weird. Somehow flipping up the mic back and forth, it like made it so I can hear myself in my headset again. Maybe my headphones are just weird. I don't... Let me ask you this, because Dave and Margie have the same thing. When you guys talk, can you hear your own voice like in your headset, other than just the fact that sound travels through things? Like it's actually
Hear my own headset.
part
No.
of.
No, I cannot.
Oh, weird. And mine.
I mean, I can hear myself because I can hear
Sure,
myself.
but it's not like showing up as like an audio feed in your headset.
No.
Which it totally does for me. Weird. All right. So do you like? So Adam, you said the door closing. So what are you doing? Are you
Like grabbing up the cell phone and calling Harry.
okay? So not breaking mom's rule about immediately using your powers to get out of the place. All right.
No one's home.
That's
Dad
really,
is.
really not the point, since mom's always like no powers around the house, outside the house anyway. Okay, so Harry, phone ringing. Where are you? Where are you when your phone's ringing? Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning, 10-ish.
I think I'm visiting with Grandma Swift.
At the hospital? Or just talking with her?
Either in the hospital or in the small cafe kind of
thing. She's she's got like a key ring with her, and she's kind of going through and flipping through them and giving you like the bullet points or the elevator
Safe
pitch
houses.
on a couple different
As well as some about the base or where it came from or what they did there. Or,
giving you
I always hated the wallpaper there.
Right. And
I like if just one's just a rock on a chain, and it's like, all right, so you go to these coordinates and you say this word.
Yeah. I think a couple of them could have actually been. I need to find that.
The mystical gale or glade or glade. I don't know. It was a valley or something.
Glade. One of them was like a mystic glade or something like that. There is somewhere. I haven't looked at the mass thing in a little bit. Or the group here, they're having a couple of interesting questions I need to double back to. Where did the thing go where I was asking for the... Oh, there it is. Well, that's just weird.
Yeah.
They
brought up an interest.
They're going through all this stuff.
I was going to say, they brought up an interesting one the other day that I enjoyed.
What was it? Which one was it about?
Oh, it is usually whenever somebody is like trying to shift your labels, there's only one label they're really trying to shift. And so if they say then, like, for instance, on like Concord, yeah, don't be a danger and move your danger down. Let's move up your superior. Just to balance that out. Even though my superior is locked, the main point was the danger. So that instead of like canceling out everything, they're like trying to figure something else out.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like locking, I don't know. One of the things I feel like about locking a stat like that is that it's one of the benefits. It's not just that you get to lock it high, it's that you get a little bit more resistant to people messing with you because you know who you are.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I could see arguments either way. Anyway. All right. So Harry, you're talking to Grandma. She's running through. I'm not gonna dig up the list right now. It doesn't really matter. But she's kind of going through like, oh, this one's out under the bay. It's actually, which is a little bit hard to get to, but they've got a teleportal, so it's not bad. 1 second.
Mic off. Mic
All right,
on.
hang on for just 1 second. I need to tuck in your number one fan.
Mic off. Mic on.
All right, sorry about that. All right, so Harry, your phone rings while she's kind of going through. This one's in a sort of a junkyard, and the phone's ringing, buzzing.
Hold on a second, Grandma.
No, I understand you. Emergencies, or non-emergencies. Maybe it's a girl.
Girl?
He nervously chuckles and picks up the phone.
No,
quickly.
it couldn't possibly be. Oh God, please no. She still owes you, or rather, you still owe her being completely at our mercy in terms of selecting someplace to go and eat, right? That's an upcoming thing. Is that where we are? Yeah. All right. So Harry, Concord, go.
Harry, this is really important. We got to go see your dad now.
I'm
Mic off. Mic on.
You're what? You broke up a little.
Mic
I'm
off.
here at the
Mic on.
hospital. What's up?
Oh, good. I can come to you, but we need to try to do the thing with your dad again. Is important.
You're not sure
More
how
than
you're...
that?
Harry, you're really not sure how your mom's gonna feel about that.
Any more than that?
He saw those things, I think, didn't he? Didn't Harry see those guys?
I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, it's just Adam's just gonna be like, "Look, Harry, we need to go back in there. I thought before, those people we saw in there were just my brain playing tricks with me. Things have been bad lately, but they're real, and we need to figure out what's going on before bad things happen."
Okay. So let's figure this out.
Mic off.
Okay, I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Mic on.
I mean, so Harry, this is probably not the first time you've dealt. It's actually your kind of resting state is probably dealing with family members and stuff who act really quickly and somewhat impulsively. So what do you do?
Mic off.
That's question. I think I myself from Grandma real quickly.
Mic on.
Grandma, more so than your family, I think, especially right now, she's decided you're doing. Grandma's pretty happy with you right now, so she's being somewhat indulgent with the Grandma, I gotta go. There's an emergency sort of thing, type of stuff. Do you need any help, dear? That sounded a little urgent.
I need to talk to Concord some more. He's on here, but you know if we need any help.
All right. I'm gonna head back up to the ICU floor. So maybe. What was that?
That was a little strained. Okay.
Okay, great, awesome. Okay, so what are you gonna do? Are you gonna talk to your mom, or what are you gonna do once you get yourself clear of your grandmother?
Wish that Concord could get here faster.
Okay, all right.
Oh
so,
no, the 5 minutes was not travel time.
That was just explaining to your dad like where you're going or something like that. Actually,
Actually, it was more like, oh, as soon as call Harry, it's like text Leo, go to the hospital.
you are actually in the process of texting Leo when your phone rings and it's Leo. So, go.
Leo, this is really good timing. We need to go to the hospital.
Are there going to be lasers at the hospital?
I hope not.
Okay, well, I'm in. Let's go.
Well, that was quick.
You might want to specify which hospital.
Well, no.
Leo knows where Streak is being held, I'm sure.
Yeah,
So.
no, that's not really a problem.
But he didn't say going to Streak at the hospital. He just said we need to go to the hospital.
Yeah, but there isn't anybody
It's
else.
the baby.
Nobody else is in hospital right now, so we're okay there. Ghost Girl. Since your
Adventure?
experiment with the wound and Lucius, and kind of figure, what have you been on your own kind of do? Because I don't know that you've really had. I mean, you tell me. Have you had time to talk with anybody about what you figured out with Lucius? And
Yeah.
and if you haven't, what have you been doing about that discovery in terms of, well, anything really?
I don't know that I've had actually much time to do much of anything, and
Right.
I'm not sure how far we are from the battle.
Well, you'd gotten to the coffee shop, and then the robot thing sort of started to happen. That was kind of on Friday, and that was the same day that Lucius thing went. It's been through Saturday, and we're like in Sunday afternoon, so it's been like a day and a half ish.
Okay.
It was very, very quiet through Saturday. It was very, very quiet around the cemetery. There was very little spirit activity. You could kind of, if you went looking for somebody in particular, they were around, but as a general rule, it was very, like,
Very dead?
I was going to say New Year's Day, like after the party, when you step outside and it's just like the city is quiet because everyone's sleeping in kind of thing. Like, it's just very still, more so. I mean, any normal person who comes to cemetery is going to find it still. It's as still to you on Saturday as it would seem to most people. I'm just curious what you may or would or wouldn't have been doing about that. Most everybody on the team wasn't really super available that day. Just because of all the other craziness going on and Aegis being upset and riled up, all that kind of stuff.
So, what I see happening is, my first concern is, have I damaged the spirits? So, I mean, the first thing I want to do is track down, one or more people who I knew were involved in it to make sure that, to really understand what it felt like from their end. That I can kind of determine if this is, did I drain them or did I just drain their batteries and they're recharging?
It's not immediately easy to tell. I mean, like if you go and look for those guys specifically, it's a bit like trying to rouse somebody up out like by ringing the doorbell when they've had a really rough night the night before kind of a thing. So you can always get them, but it's really they're much more reluctant to manifest, so to speak. As for how much you can really kind of glean about that, I think we'd want to do a assess to kind of ask some questions
Roll
about
some
that.
dice?
Yeah, let's roll some dice.
Oh, okay.
So that would actually be, I don't know where you lie on that right now, but it's like a superior to do and assess the situation.
Okay. My character sheet.
What a fine idea. Hey, somebody else rolled today. Adam rolled.
No, I know. I'm not the first. I almost said I was the first, but then I realized shifting, so.
Yeah.
I do have a move that's probably related to this
What is that move?
world. Can commune with the other departed ghosts. Unseen.
Well, let me look.
It's more for like clearing conditions and getting specific information.
You can commune with other
But-
departed ghosts whenever you contact the unseen realm of superior. I miss, hold on. Receive a cursed or spiritually potent item that will allow you to use any item. Consult the members of the party to ask a GM question about the current situation. Clear conditions with it. Well,
I think it's really more the middle one.
yeah, I mean,
But I mean, we can just roll straight superior.
I think
too,
we roll
either way.
superior, although I think Unseen World is definitely something that might come up soon. It certainly seems relevant. So yeah, let's just go with a straight assess, and we'll see where we are from that first.
Superior.
Yes, please. Okay. Well, what do we think about that?
Well, it could be that I can't really get a hold of the ones I need to get a hold of.
Yeah. So
Question is, does that freak? How much does that freak me out? How much concern does that generate for
I
me?
think yeah. So yeah. So what you're doing is you're going around and trying to reach out to the various spirits and that sort of thing. And no one that you actually speak with directly is expressing anger or any kind of resentment, but they're also not being friendly. They're very much kind of in that no, this isn't how they're acting specifically, but it's definitely kind of a no sir, yes sir, thank you sir, may I have another kind of thing. And
yes, general, no, general.
Yeah, when they, nobody's going to complain about any of it, but nobody's going to be overly friendly either. But they're also you also get a very disconcerting sense that anything you ask, they will immediately leap to do. which is not.
That's a position she's really not comfortable with.
And also
And she did grow up with servants, so
and
you know she
yeah,
does
exactly.
have.
Yeah. And the people that you specifically seek out that you're looking for going, well, I know this person was involved. I know they were very close to me. I know they were physically very close to me when this is going on. It takes personal effort on your part to get them to manifest. Like they are, and you honestly can't tell, and your own self-doubt does not help with this. You honestly can't tell whether this is permanent or a temporary tapping out of their ability of their essence.
Okay, right.
Because they are weak and they are very, the best word you can think of is thin. And this is something you've seen with particularly
Older ghosts?
particularly weakened ones, or very ones that were never very strong to begin with or anything like that, is they're almost on a loop, like they're recursive. So it's a lot less.
Hey, turn out the lights.
Yeah, yes, like that. It's much more. It's much less having a conversation with the regular person, which is what it normally is for you, and certainly what it is here at the cemetery. And it's a lot more of that more typical, what you almost think of as a poltergeist kind of manifestation, where they're stuck in this loop of something related to how they died, how they passed, and it's more of a recursive scar on an area than an entity. And they're just being much more reduced. Whether or not that's a permanent thing.
Okay, take guilty.
Guilty. Yeah. The only real question is, how severe is it? Are you is it take a condition or take a powerful blow, which may or may not. The thing with take a powerful blow is it's so uneven. It could be nothing, and it could be something worse than taking a condition. But in this case, I think probably taking guilty certainly reflects the situation.
Okay.
Such as it is.
No, I totally agree with you there.
Okay. So.
You clear guilty.
How do you clear guilty? Because this would have been what you kind of, and it's this worse. It's a situation that you sort of immediately investigate, and it gets worse as the day goes on, because you start to poke around, and it's like, well, that's not good, and you go look, and it nothing that you find out is any more comforting than the first couple. So you spend most of Saturday in this sort of spiraling, in this sort of guilt spiral of like everything that you initially found out is just as bad, throughout.
It's make a sacrifice to absolve your guilt, which is so fitting.
Yeah, exactly. And then how do you even go about doing that? So, you've been called upon to save the wounds of the world, but you've also decided that you're going to be a defender of these things. But to do the one, you've got to damage the other. And they all seem to be perfectly willing and okay with that because of something general. What?
Freak out now.
Yeah.
Okay.
How? So it's Sunday morning. It's the day, you pass through a day and a night like this. You're not feeling obviously better the next morning, kind of a thing. Do you reach out to anybody? Do you call up anybody? What do you do?
Actually, anyways, and I don't know if it's going to help this particular aspect of the situation, is I wanted to understand more about how Alicia tweaked the portals so that it wasn't increasing the damage. There's some kind of harmonic or something that she used so that we could still use the energy, but it wouldn't be as draining, or had on my to-do list to visit to visit her.
Do you want to just go where she is?
unannounced.
Do you want
Of
to just
course.
go? Okay. We will jump to that presently, and I look forward to
No. Yeah.
that. We'll jump right to that.
Why am I worried the ghost girl wants to visit me in lockup?
No.
Is this one of those, consoling the prisoners kind of acts of charity?
No, I wanted to visit you, and I don't actually have a very good concept about.
Personal space, security.
I was gonna say, rules of that sort didn't really,
Yeah.
I don't know that it was really
Boundaries.
impressed upon her that school, so I didn't hear that conversation. So I don't know, it was impressed upon me that Leisha couldn't just come and go as she wanted.
Right. I'm just gonna go where
I
she
knew she was
is.
in. Oh, well, yeah.
I mean, she's been dropping in on people in their allegedly secure facilities pretty much since session 3. So I don't know. That's really different. All right.
By the way, how is Walters doing?
Not. He'll be fine. This isn't gonna bother him. It's gonna be.
No, I was thinking about like getting 10 feet underground unexpectedly.
Oh
but,
yeah, no. He's had a lot of weird stuff happen to him over the years.
Black syndrome.
Yeah, he's
I've seen the inside of digestive tract.
I've seen things that
That's just
yeah,
one of many things that I'd like to forget.
and yeah, you could play Waters. You could have a good time playing Waters as like an MIB RPG. That was a fun game to play. Anyway, all right. We will jump to that in just a second, but first we're gonna get back over to the hospital because I want to. I just had a moment where I looked up the clock and I thought it was 10:30 instead of 9:30. Okay, so Harry, you're at your dad's room and your mom is there, and we will begin with her saying, "You want to what now again?"
That we're in their last kind of concordance agents world, and Concord the source of them wants to check it out and aren't the ones who were messing with his mind.
So you're saying there were concordance agents inside your father's head?
Yes?
And you want to... I'm sorry, you want to... What exactly? Talk to them? Inside your father's head?
Of course.
We want to make sure that they aren't the ones in Dad's situation.
But they're not Concord. They're something else, and he doesn't know what they are?
They're other concordance agents.
And doesn't that make them friendly? Wouldn't
seem too friendly. Harriet, Adam, I think because of
Because of what?
he's gone.
S- I'm having I'm sorry, I'm having a little, I'm not sure what her response to this is going to be. In fact, I need you to help me with her response to this. And maybe let's try to provoke someone. Do you have a movie?
Why would we do that?
Well, you need to convince her to do a thing she doesn't really want to do, and that's provoke. Whether or not it's technically what you're not poking her with a stick.
Or poke angry mothers with a stick.
No, yeah, don't. I get that. Provoke though. Ugh. It's ugly. Do you want to? I mean, you have the option here to kind of, say something like, I can't really explain this really well. Let's wait until Concord gets here, and I'll let him explain it to you, and kind of get some help on this convincing thing. Is
Yeah,
that?
the concordance agents. Concord was really the one who dealt with them. I think we should let him explain them.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a wonderful idea. I would love to talk to Concord about this.
Like we just got a -1 forward.
Oh no, I mean it's it's fine. So like Concord said, he probably shows up about 5 minutes. Leo, I think we can just kind of get everybody sort of there.
It's 30 minutes away. I'll be there in 10.
I was gonna say, worst case scenario, I bip to Leo, grab him, and bip to the hospital.
Well, yeah, I mean, you get. He said he's on the way, so I don't know that it would really occur. Like, I mean, when Leo says he's on the way, he's on the way. Odds are you just kind of trust him to get there. But initially, I mean, we don't need to jump right to the provoke thing. You can just kind of get there and get. Do you bip there or do you fly there, Concord? I mean, the convenience.
Panic implies bipping.
All right, so you kind of appear a few, like 20 seconds later, like the awkward silence in the hospital room grows, and then suddenly you're there, and Harry seems tense, yet at least relieved to a certain extent. Tempest is just giving off a whole bunch of tense and kind of angry. And Concord.
You know that mother face.
Yeah, well, and
Oh,
Concord.
good, Harry, you're here.
No.
Leo will be here in 5 minutes.
We're gonna stop and have a conversation, young man. I need you to explain to me why people from your organization are cowboying around inside of my husband's head before we go anywhere with the rest of this.
They're not really my organization. You could barely even say I'm affiliated with them anymore.
Are you a renegade of some kind?
Not that I'm aware of.
But they're from the organization and you're not.
This is hard to explain, but I had a supervisor and then I didn't.
No, Harry covered that a bit, I think. Let me just see if I get this straight. Some people from the organization you used to nominally represent are now here and they weren't before, and for some reason they've decided that their playground for this is my husband's head. How and why did that happen? And why on earth, this earth here, would I allow that to continue? Help me understand this. She doesn't seem like she really wants to understand. No, I'm just kidding. Tempest says, "I heard that you cleared a bunch of conditions last session. I'd like to address that and see if we can't undo that nonsense." No, I'm kidding. She is definitely she's not in angry mom mode. She's in angry spouse mode.
Oh no, she's angry.
Well, she's clearly angry.
Oh yeah.
And scared. And she hasn't yet pulled out your name, your proper first name, which she knows because the Gales were all like,
yeah, oh no,
mentor
I'm
family.
sure
And she hasn't yet pulled that out yet, but she's so close.
She's going to use his middle name. Not even Adam knows his own middle name.
She's going to invent one and inflict it on you. I have decided what your middle name is going to be. No!
I'm shifting your labels by adding a middle name.
Adam has a middle name, thank you. It's on the wiki.
I don't think I even know what that is, so she's probably not going to pull that out.
So
I will for your mom.
It's because she put it there. That's.
But no,
the worst fallout. Never mind. I'm not going to talk about the. I have an idea what the worst fallout for this can be.
Well, that's easy. It's a mother-to-mother chat.
Yes, she calls mom. While her mom is already nursing a back-of-the-head hypertension headache from the Chuck E. Cheese birthday party.
And those of you that have not had to go to Chuck E. Cheese, you'll just have to, imagine.
And Tempest is what I want to reflect in this right now is that she has made her demand and is now not saying anything further. She has simply stopped and is allowing this, what certainly in the Gale household and really in most households would be an incredible amount of silence-based tension to build up. Because she's not saying anything more. She's not repeating herself. She's not making further demands. She's not asking further questions. She's just waiting while this.
Oh man, no, we got past this when I was 8. We moved on to stronger stuff past this. But no, Adam's just gonna be like, just kind of like takes a deep breath.
In the Gale household, silence is a weapon.
Forgets that he doesn't need to breathe and is like, Miss Gale, look, I'm really scared by all this. You're really scared by all this. This is not really. Look, if I had these answers, I'd give them to you. But right now, the only people who have those answers seem like they're in, Mr. Gale's head. And we're trying to get those answers. Like, if you want to help, feel free.
Okay. All right. You need to provoke.
Can I empathize?
Can you? Oh, empathize? See, what you want is Leo's move.
Oh, no. I know, but I kind of was like leaning into that with like, you're scared, I'm scared. Nobody knows what's going on here.
Oh, I see.
That sounded totally like empathize to me.
No, I get that. I recognize.
He may not let you do it.
Well, no, it's not that. It's just okay. The problem is I don't have that move. Let me go look and find it.
It's on my sheet.
Is it? Where?
Yeah. Because I bought the move.
I know, but I don't see it anymore.
Under active moves.
Oh, wow, you have a lot of passives.
I have a crap ton of passives.
When you
Flares will do that to you.
When you openly empathize with someone, roll mundane on a hit. They must reveal a vulnerability or mark a condition. On a 10 plus, take influence. So you're laying this in before the other thing.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Best case scenario, she listens to me.
Well, best case scenario, what empathize is going to do is get her to open up and give you a vulnerability of some kind.
Best case scenario, it gives me a +1 when I actually do stuff.
You mean by taking influence? Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's see how the empathize goes so I can see how she's going to reply to this.
I got a hit.
Okay. So, rolls empathize. When you openly empathize with someone, roll mundane. On a hit, they must reveal a vulnerability or mark a condition.
Angry.
She's already angry.
Very angry.
Angry all the time.
She's already angry. Okay, so while she's saying this, probably somewhere in the midst of this is when Leo walks in. However it is that he arrives. You kids are so young, and I know that Harry, your father, and I weren't any older than you when we started doing all this, but it's different now when we're not the ones who are going on 18 and immortal and can't fail at anything, because we failed at things then, we failed at things now, and we're not immortal, and your dad's not immortal, and I let you talk me into something that I shouldn't have, because I didn't know if it was going to work, and I didn't know if it was going to help, and if it didn't work and didn't help or made things worse, it would have all landed back on you, and I shouldn't have put you in a situation where that much was going to land back on you if it didn't work, because it's not fair, but I did it because I'm so scared that we're not going to get him back. And I still think that, and I don't want, if he doesn't come back, and she kind of chokes a little bit and stops there for a second and swallows. If he doesn't come back, it has to be because he didn't come back and not because you tried and couldn't bring him back, because then you will blame yourself, because I know you and your friends well enough to know that you would blame yourself if he couldn't do it. I want him to come back, but I can't bear the thought that he would not come back, and on top of that, you would think it was your fault. I cannot. And
But
if
you
she's,
aren't
go ahead.
you aren't asking us to do this. Our decision, and we know the risks involved.
Do you? Harry, you're 17. How could you know? How? And Leo, you've walked in kind of in the middle of this, so she's explaining like.
He's been listening quietly.
Right. Yeah. So just.
Hey guys, I brought chips.
Seriously.
This is Gail. Would you like some chips?
No, I'm fine, thank you. Although I appreciate how much Harry's friends are willing to step in and come to his aid in this. And I understand there's something big going on here.
Listen, I heard what you said. I just put 2 copies of my dad in prison. So
She
this
kind
is
of she kind of blinks at that like okay, all right, she's
so
adjusted.
like if you want to talk about people doing serious things, I think some of us have it covered. And chips are just kind of how we symbolize support for each other. So we are here for you. We're here for Silver Streak, and we're here for each other as well.
I don't question your motivations and your desire to help. I can't see how I can call myself a mother or a wife if I just throw my hands up and let this be somebody else's problem. Even if it's Harry's.
But wait a minute. You're more than a wife and mother. You're also a hero, aren't you?
I don't want to be right now.
But the heroes don't get to choose when they are, or do they? And right now, maybe there's a problem that some of your fellow heroes can help with, maybe that you can't. And I know for a fact that Arya came to you when she needed your help, and you came through in a big way. So let us do what we can now, and we know that you will do what you can later.
Before I scroll too far, Ghost Girl, did you mark XP for that 6? Completely unrelated.
No, I will.
You should do that.
Ooh. And I think just Concord chiming in on that would just be like, yeah. Harry's gone.
Well, Harry
Yeah.
had a great argument too.
Oh yeah.
What he said
but
just before that.
Harry's gone above and beyond for all of us. More times than I can count. You know. Let us do this to help pay back to the family for helping us out.
I think I can even tell you why Concord here is the best fit for fixing this problem.
Well, I understand some of that if what they said is true. She leaves that hanging, so you can continue with what you were going to say.
So, when my understanding is when Streak was found, he'd kind of taken off from the rest of the group. Is that correct? That was kind of the after action info that I got.
Yes, of course, because it's
well, the Virtovians were after 2 objectives. One of them was a Kenome, and I suspect the other one was as well. I suspect that he got his hands on that other one, and I suspect that it's that power that is going on here. Concord has the most practical experience of any one of us here with interacting with these things, and he has my confidence. Now, I don't know if I have yours, but I have trusted my life and the life of my team in his hands in handling this, and I'm willing to do so again.
I'm going to have you, Leo, I'm going to have you roll your persuade with best interests, I think. Knowing that we've got easily justified the other, either Harry or
Woo!
And that's a 12.
Okay. We had plenty of justification with Harry and Concord to help out with that as well.
I also sort of leaned mine into a comfort and support for Harry, just because I know he needs them.
That's true, because you were really, Harry. Yeah, we'll throw that in there as well. Harry, when you hear like all this stuff that Concord kind of says about all the, amazing things that you've done for the team and stuff like that. Do you react to that at all? Respond to that at all? Or does it just, are you too wound up in everything? It's one of those two things where either he says the thing and you just kind of like don't really hear it because of everything else going on, or it's such a surprise to hear something like that that it kind of almost snaps you out of all this other stuff to go, whoa.
It kind of jerks up, and I think the words hit deep.
Do you do or say anything to kind of acknowledge him?
Bag of chips.
Chips are like you guys' entire like comfort and support vector. It's just
They're
really
poised.
good vector.
They don't express emotion, so
It's an
they
in-game currency for.
substitute the role of chips.
no. There was a funny bit in one of the actual plays, one of the Young Justice actual plays, where like Robin tried to do a comfort and support on Connor, and all he did was like in walking past was like kind of put his hand on Connor's shoulder for a second and say sorry, and then he like walks and he's about 6 or 7 feet away before Connor finally goes thanks. And that was the entire comfort and support, because that's where those guys are at, where like that's as advanced as the interaction is going to get, Anyway, I'm for some reason reminded of Tony Stark rewarding Bruce Banner for having a good idea by like handing him a bag of like freeze-dried blueberries or something like that as like a bonding moment. Concord, is that enough of a response from Harry to count as responding to the comfort and support?
Oh yeah.
All right. Did you roll the? You need to actually roll the comfort and support though, don't you? You should probably do that too.
So he can shift labels, clear a condition, or mark potential.
Would you like to clear a condition, Harry?
I thought you'd never ask.
All right, you can clear a condition. Lovely, and well done. And we have a 12 for the persuade with best interests. And she says, Piers, this is the part that I'm still adjusting to. We've worked since Harry was little to have him grow up to be a hero, but I never thought I was working to have him become a hero alongside us, or doing a better job than we were. Of course that's what we were doing. I just didn't think I'd get to see it.
Well, let me tell you then on that note, Harry has been a really big inspiration to me too, and I'm not afraid to tell him that too. I don't think that I would be where I am today without him. He has been a really good example, and thank you for that.
We will heal the Harry.
I'll be right back.
Who was saying that, Bill or Lynn?
Bill will be right back. I have a delivery coming in like 3 minutes.
No problem.
If that's a comfort and support, though, I'll roll that shit right now. It's up to you.
You roll it, and we'll figure out whether or not it is. That way you can go and get... Okay. Harry, everyone's making you feel awesome or possibly terribly embarrassed.
We're both.
Or both.
Why not both?
Why not both?
Is this when Grandma comes in and says, I told you so, Emily?
Harry's such a good boy. He even inspires me.
What NPCs cannot comfort and support. What
Says you.
Harry? Yeah, I know they can, but Harry, what's your response to Linksay? It's like, oh come on, seriously? Or what is, if anything, because you're barely dealing with the Concords thing, and then Link starts chiming in with even more.
Is this where you say dude and hit him in the arm?
Do we get blushing?
No.
Roll for it.
Is embarrassed a condition you can take?
He comforts and
We're
supports you.
teen
It's
superhero. We're teenagers. We're always embarrassed.
Nuh-uh, I wear spandex suit. You think I can get embarrassed with this thing on?
Yes.
Link does a comfort and support. It clears a condition. It's also terribly embarrassing. Take a powerful blow. That's how teenagers actually work.
Yes.
I mean, what do you think? Do you what is your response to Link's even greater additional speechifying, to use the technical term?
Of course. I could never ask for a better leader.
Ooh. I'm just going to categorically say that counts as a response. Harry has not handed out the leader appellation willingly, something to which Jason can certainly attest to.
I'm not sorry about that.
That's just not Jason.
His Harry's response was, I couldn't have asked for a better leader.
Or friend.
Oh, was it or friend? I missed that part. All right. I think that counts as a proper response to that. Would you agree, Leo?
Yeah, he's going to bite out some snark about Jason, but he'll take it.
Well, what I had said is that Harry does not hand out acknowledgement of leadership to people in the team very quickly or ever, which Jason will attest to. Harry, clear another condition.
Yeah.
Let all the comfort and support wash over you, and then we have to. Oh, so listen, should I stay? Do you want me out of here? Like last time, or?
Actually, I think you'd be very useful here.
All right.
Yes, Alicia, you're the most important part.
Okay.
I mean, that was there because I genuinely thought that would be interesting to see.
No,
play
absolutely. Certainly his wife could be a lovely anchor too. No, I actually thought your argument for having Alicia involved in the thing was rock solid.
Oh yeah.
So, but we lack that at this point in time. So, Concord, what is the process? What do you do? Given, is it the same?
Well,
what do we do live? What do we even do?
Last time I had to basically hold open a portal to let Harry in.
Right.
This presumably takes more people, which
Right.
is going to be even harder.
Right.
However,
Is the portal something you can do through a burn?
I can do it through a burn.
Okay. were saying
However,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I figure I'm like going over this with like Leo and Harry, just sort of like, figuring this out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, maybe I don't hold it open. We just force our way in and then force our way out when we're done.
I mean,
Then
it is Streak's head. Forcing in, forcing out doesn't sound great.
What if you just leave an anchor, not leave it fully open, but with an anchor out? Sorry, I'm not there.
actually,
No, that's perfect. Kibitzing works.
no.
Kibitzing is a zero action.
Yeah.
I know a great anchor.
Who's that? What's that?
Tempest.
So, okay, so what the idea is here that she's the anchor back out. So is this all like hold hands and then you what, three go in together?
Yep.
3 in unison? What does that remind me of?
Because there were 3 on the inside too. So.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just thinking of, I can't remember, some wizard thing from some book or
Yeah.
something. Three in unison, or 3 in agreement.
Also, I think this is
Go
where
in, one come out.
Concord's like, look over to Harry. He's like, don't touch the yarn this time.
You know what? I'm not going to ask, boys. It's Tempest.
No problem.
All right, so
That thing gave me headaches.
linking of hands and kind of taking, so Harry on a hand, Link, Tempest, Concord, and then Streak's other hand. Yeah, something like that.
The kind of the way I see it is like Concord, it's like on one hand is like Concord, Harry, and Link,
Okay.
and then on the other end is Tempest holding the other hand.
Okay. All right, that works too. Cool. All right,
Hey, what?
say again.
Sorry, what was that?
Swift say that she was going to come up here? Is she
Oh,
going
I
to
hope
be
not.
in
She's
the
up-
middle of it?
She's up on the floor somewhere. Do you want her in here? She could be got very quickly. I mean,
Wanted to see if she was going to walk in on this.
well, it wouldn't be the weirdest thing she's walked in on in her life. So, I mean, again, I'm reminded of Iron Man. Let's be honest, this isn't even remotely the weirdest thing you've walked in on me.
Hey, Bill, real quick. On your 10, did you add teams to the pool or did you clear a condition of your own?
I'm not clear angry.
Okay, cool.
That seems best in this situation. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna have you roll because we're getting pretty close, and I want to do a little bit more with Alicia and Ghost Girl, who we haven't done very much with. But let's frame this up by rolling your burn.
All right.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So gotta go back.
I take a condition.
Is that how that works? Burn. When
Yep.
you charge up your powers, roll conditions you currently have marked. On a hit, hold 3 burn. On 7-9, mark 1 condition.
Yep.
On a miss, hold 2 burn and mark 3 conditions. Ouch.
Uh-huh.
All right. All right. So you've got 3 burn, but a condition. What do you pick up? Insecure.
Insecure.
Insecure. Oh, that's a fun one. All right. So the kind of like sort of that Concord fiery flare around him is kind of all around all 3 of you, sort of. And the light comes up, and it's kind of one of those things where the light's bright enough that it makes the rest of the room dark. And when the flare drops down enough for you to be able to sort of clearly see the room again, the room that you're in is the meeting room of the HHL again. You're sitting back in that meeting room where all of the HHL are kind of sitting at their various seats, but really more in silhouette, except for, again, Streak and the ball of Tesseract yarn cradled in his hands, and the tears streaming down his face.
I'll say this for Link's benefit so that he can get in a snappy comment if he wants. Got in 1 this time.
I have faith in you.
He's not joking. It must be serious.
No comment on this time.
We're Alicia and Ghost Girl, were you around when they did the Silver Streak dive last time, or no?
No.
No?
It was just me and Harry.
I wasn't there. I was at the game, but I wasn't.
You were. That's why I say
in the
you guys
scene.
weren't. You guys weren't at. Were you at the Margie, were you at
I
the
was
game?
I was at that session. That was when Margie.
No, that was last session. Two
Right.
sessions
So
back.
you were there for that game.
Sure.
We were both at the game. We just.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I was talking about this again today, so I want to say, I just have to say again, I am so glad that I had the good sense to go, I don't know where you guys end up inside of his head, what does this look like, and have James frame us into the HHL tower in the creepy room, because that was the best damn idea that it could possibly have been for that scene, and I totally wouldn't have thought of it. So kudos again to James giving us such a creepy set for this. All right, and we're gonna spend the last couple of minutes here, if that's all right, jumping back over to Ghost Girl and Alicia, who is working in the fabrication shop, with some. The Aegis techs are alternating back and forth between like nerdy enthusiasm about the stuff that you're doing, and like then remembering that they're like
Wigging out.
yeah, then remembering who they're working with, kind of. Not least because you've got Aegis guards kind of watching the whole proceedings and that sort of thing, and Parker keeps sort of like wandering in and out. And Alicia, what are you working on right now? Like, what specifically are you
What am I working on right now?
finalizing?
I'm finalizing. I'm finalizing the power gloves. How's that?
I like that. That works. And Ghost Girl steps out of the shadows of the fabrication shop. You probably notice right away. Probably nobody else immediately does. Charlotte, what do you do? Or what do you say? Or because you're in basically like Iron Man's workshop kind of thing. There's lots of benches with stuff on it, and electronic stuff, and 3D printers and stuff of that nature.
Odd echo. I would say mute. No, I'm not. Initially go back to transparent when I see that there's others
like
around.
like what does that mean? Less noticeable, or like as much as you can, like just completely.
As much as I can.
All right, so you kind of like just drop back into the shadows a little bit and really fade yourself out, kind of a thing. Alicia, you still notice her arrival. You don't really think anybody else did initially. Certainly nobody in the room is reacting. So Charlotte's watching you, was headed your way, but as soon as she realized kind of where, she sort of stepped forward, and as soon as she realized where she was, she sort of stepped back and got real hard to perceive. You know where to look so you can see her, but and you're honestly not sure what Aegis's reaction to this would be. You can't imagine it's going to be like, "Oh, Charlotte, here, have some chips."
Yes. So happy to see you, manifesting yourself through all our security.
Yeah.
I'm not setting alarms off.
I'm not setting alarms
You
off.
don't know that you've not set any alarms off. You may have set lots of alarms off, but there aren't any of them loud ones.
Alicia will just kind of make a comment aloud along the lines of, well, I do have to say, your security here is excellent. I mean, certainly no one could slip out, let alone slip into this fine facility you have here.
And
Just kind of conversationally to some of the techs.
And the techs are kind of looking at each other like, thanks, I guess. So yeah, I guess.
Nearby? Does Alicia still have an earbud?
Alicia does not have one just when she's like hanging out inside of the
Yeah.
thing.
It's sitting in a little earbud container somewhere.
Yeah.
But
along
I
with
can
my
still talk in her
ID.
head, right?
No, well, no, she doesn't have the earbud thing, and she doesn't have certainly she doesn't have the magic rock thing because that never happened. Hang on, so you guys are like, I think you're sort of trying to figure out what to do with this, and you've made like now the energy in the room is kind of awkward. Parker walks in, scowling, frowning. I shouldn't say scowling, frowning. Looks around the room. All right, everyone out. Let's give the young lady the room for a few moments so she can commune with her
Spirit
self.
guide?
Yeah, sure. She's with her spirit guide, and they kind of look at her, and she goes, "Just get out of the room." And everyone's like, "Get her, scatter out." The guards kind of like, "Yes, all of you."
Also, Doyce,
Yes.
congratulations on finally doing Give Him the Room.
Oh, you're welcome. We're going to have to talk soon, she says to Alicia. And then she walks out. She steps back out of the room. Now, you're obviously going to be under all kinds of surveillance, but at least nobody's sitting in here. Parker clearly knows that something happened. Or that, well, she seems to even know what happened, so, but she's at least giving you the illusion of privacy, I guess, on your own recognizance.
Well, sure. And I'll go ahead because I'm not 100% certain what Charlotte's doing here, but I will go ahead and turn back to my work and say, well, at least it's nice to at least have the illusion of privacy, though I'm sure that that I remain under surveillance.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that it would cause any difficulties. I didn't realize that. Well, I just didn't understand your situation. I'm sorry.
Oh, no need to apologize. I am a guest of this particular establishment for the nonce, and as I indicated, they look askance both at people leaving without permission or entering.
Somewhere in a nearby room, Parker is making notes on a pad of paper, and she has written down first nonce, and then askance, and then underneath that, underlined 3 times, really? With question marks. Nonce, askance, really?
She's just trying to relate to me, reverting to a more archaic form of conversation.
If I say them with Parker's accent, does that make a greater effect?
It depends on what type of effect you're aiming for. Yes. I mean, the answer is yes, probably, but I don't know that you want that. So, yeah, it'll kind of, yeah. Charlotte's reading it, it's like, oh, she's adapting her speech to match mine. That's quaint. And, what Alicia's actually doing is tweaking Parker's nose. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Charlotte, well, I don't know.
So what brings you to my humble workshop?
It's a very nice workshop. Yes. Is now a good time? I don't want to interrupt your work.
I wasn't planning on going anywhere, so.
Right. I'm sorry.
Mikasa Sukasa, as people say.
Until the bars come down. Well, to talk to you a little bit about the device you use to enter the Sepia-verse. different from Jason's, and I'm trying to understand a bit more about the how it was. Well,
You're talking about
tuned.
when she went into the Sepiaverse from the cemetery in the first place, or when she was sort of helping you get back all in a group. Which instance are you referring to?
She was going into the Sepiaverse.
Right. Okay.
The device that she used did not damage the way that Jason's device did.
Yeah. And
Talk to her about,
that's
you
honestly
know,
news to you, Alicia, because you were using his
I was using his tech
and his notes.
And of course, adapting them through my own
Right.
abilities. Well, boys can sometimes be a bit clumsy about the furniture in China. Now may not be the best time to talk about mechanisms for interdimensional travel.
I totally understand. I just wanted you to sort of think about it. I'm wondering if I can't apply some of your knowledge to the work I'm doing. Maybe the next time, the team gets together, we'll have a chance to chat a little bit.
Sure. We can eat chips and sip sodas and talk about penetrating interdimensional barriers.
Such language.
It'll be a scream.
I think you're mocking me, dear.
No, he's definitely not mocking you.
No. That's what she's taking it as.
Oh, don't take it personally. I mock everyone.
If Parker rubs her temples any harder, she's going to push her finger into her skull.
I'm very much looking forward to when we can get together next. I'll talk to Link about it and see if he's got anything planned coming up.
That would be great. I mean, I definitely think the gang should get together and just be able to spend some time together that doesn't involve
rampaging
robots and saving the universe.
I couldn't agree more.
Alicia, roll provoke.
Let's see. That would be superior. Yeah, I think I can make that roll.
See, you jinxed yourself now, though. See, this is what you do. You do this to yourself.
Oh man, why am I expecting a conversation coming over for an intercom?
XP.
Alicia.
That's right, Mark XP.
Oh yes, Mark XP.
I don't think that's the way. Yeah. Okay. Let me look at that. My God. See, you say so. I think I can make that, and then you end up rolling. I think you have all of James's bad rolls from like sessions 1 through 13.
I blame it on the boy. Yeah.
Okay.
See how it feels.
Feel the pain. Provoke. When you provoke someone susceptible to your words, say what you're trying to get them to do and roll superior. Okay.
Yeah, Alicia's gotten maybe a little too relaxed here with her newfound freedom in the fab shop. Probably
a little too familiar.
Yeah.
We'll so actually, yeah, we'll have the intercom come up. Oh, don't worry. We're going to be talking about arrangements for that sort of thing very soon. And you can tell Parker is not best pleased at this point about any of this conversation. So you get, at least you get the distinct impression that you have pushed. And it can't have just been you, but she has definitely been pushed a notch too far. With the constant like when shall I ever get out of this Rapunzel like tower sort of thing. But yeah, you may have misjudged this one.
Crap.
You've always been better with spaces than you have with people.
Yeah.
Miss Palmer, thank you very much for checking in and acknowledging how valued a teammate Charade is. We will attempt to get her, make her available to you as soon as we understand what the hell you two were just talking about. And if you wouldn't mind excusing us for now, we need to catch up a little bit with our ward.
Why, certainly, ma'am. I
Yeah, you get that really.
I pull a face at Alicia, like
the hell? Yeah, you get that really distinct feeling of, you know, you've come over for a social visit with one of your friends, and somehow, like, you're being politely asked to leave because your friend is now in the hottest of hot water.
Alicia will assume a visage of nonchalance and kind of poo-poo
so
Charlotte's apology.
So do I know that it's Miss Parker?
Yeah, that was I don't know that you've necessarily met her
but I would
formally,
know that
but people have been briefed. You know, people have caught you up on the fact that
that's right.
Alicia has a handler.
You weren't at the school.
She wasn't at the school. Yeah,
at the
so
study session where she came. Yeah.
Yeah, people would have in the same way that.
Well, I know because she dropped you off, and so I'm sure you said something.
And the way it has been very vaguely described to you is that Special Agent Parker is like Special Agent Waters for Leo, but for Alicia, except not the same.
So,
which I can only assume from that phrasing had to have been like how Concord explained it to you.
Miss Parker, would you like to show me out, or would you prefer I go?
Oh no! By all means, you can come and go in the manner to which you are most accustomed. We don't need to have you. We don't need to pretend that we have any means whatsoever of keeping you from coming and going however you like.
Alicia will kind of give a sotto voce, be careful.
Have you tried salt circles?
Because all of a sudden Alicia's kind of a little bit worried as to what Parker might do vis-a-vis Charlotte.
Well,
and Charlotte's entrance.
They might do something later, but they don't really have the means of... No,
I know.
Yeah.
But...
No, she's... Unless you decide that you want to leave, I guess... in a mundane fashion, Charlotte, you're invited to depart in the way in which you are.
I just thought it would be polite to ask.
Well, I appreciate the ask, Miss Palmer, but
she sort of go ahead. She starts fading out.
Yeah, I appreciate the ask, Miss Palmer, but no, in your own time and in your own manner. And
He's gone.
We'll just kind of leave it there. We'll have a nice awkward conversation over the course of the week, Dave. Which you're right. I mean, we should be moving forward on new arrangements for Alicia, but that sets the tone for how comfortable those new arrangements are going to be. I want her.
Alicia will turn back to her work table and start industriously working.
Yeah. Yeah. See, if I thought it would be bad enough, and it's not going to be bad enough, I just have you, it's like, you get to be off campus now. We're going to have your room with somebody and have your room with Agent 37. Be great. Oh my God.
A10?
Oh no, because it needs to be somebody who's like.
Not fun.
We talked about having Summer do it actually, so there you go.
Yeah, but no, somebody who's basically sort of like a functional. I Leo, I want the sitcom where it's Alicia, Agent 37, and a newly reactivated snowman as roomies. That would be the Three's Company from Hell, the superpowered Three's Company from Hell.
That might get violent. So yeah.
I bet Dave remembers the lyrics to that too.
Oh, please.
I wasn't
No.
a Three's Company person.
I had a friend that was in high school. All right, guys. That was a weird, but anyway, we're gonna continue on, and we know exactly where everything's going to be happening. At least where a chunk of everything's going to be happening next session. I think we'll be starting inside Silverstreak's head.
Bum, bum, bum.
But in the meantime, Alicia, closer to the team, further away from the team, more in your own image of yourself. I do need to get you
Wow.
out of here because it's annoying having you physically separated from everybody else. We do need to fix this in some fashion. It's just how
I would.
Oh my God, I'm going to make you room with her. Oh, my sweet merciful crap. Yes.
With who?
Parker. Oh,
Parker would
doesn't
die.
al- She doesn't already?
no. She's like in a
Parker doesn't live at Vegas?
No. I mean like actually have them share a flat.
Man, you've broken down my entire mental image of how Aegis works.
No, she doesn't live at age. It's like a this is
Wait,
like
what, were you picturing it like the Hydra? You know,
The Hydra base. Everybody kind of lives in the barracks.
everyone
And,
just no. Parker
as
Her-
Captain
her-
Crunch for.
I'm
for
telling you, her
breakfast.
first name is Agent.
Agent. That's it right here in her writing.
These are very short agents. They don't have kids. No.
I'm gonna say Alicia. I would probably been more image of myself until like that last scene.
Right.
But I've
To be
got
fair,
to
it's
give
kind of the only
cred
scene
to
you have.
Charlotte coming to visit. I mean, that's actually, I was joking about the comforting the prisoners thing before, but that's actually a very nice thing. Even though she had kind of a purpose for doing so.
Sure.
Still,
But she thought of you. That's nice to be
Yeah.
thought of when you aren't in the middle of actually, shooting at somebody.
yeah. So Charlotte, you
All right.
get influence unless
Charlotte.
you have influence.
I don't think she might already. Didn't you give some to her right away? I think you did when you
Let me
started out.
see.
Oh yeah, she. I was included her in my thing.
Yeah, right off the
We
bat.
haven't.
So I think you already have influence, in which case, you can do that thing. Charlotte, closer to the team, further away from the team, more into your own image of yourself. You had a bit of a rough ride there with your ghost, so I'm not exactly sure how that all shakes out.
Yeah, I'll say more in the image of myself as we sort of continue this exploration.
Yeah, trying to figure out what's going
But
on there.
I did have some thoughts on ways that we could kind of connect more.
Okay.
I was thinking that Charlotte was going to be feeling left out during the day and might, audit the classes invisibly and
Ooh.
show up for a study hall.
Yeah, I like it. We'll have to. Yeah. Let's
History.
Are the rumors true about the ghost haunting the halls of
Gardner Academy.
Gardner Academy?
Let's let's
Hunting Myrtle.
let's chat about that over the course of the week and figure that out. Okay, so more new image yourself. Concord.
I think we're going to start the shuffling back and forth again. So we're going to grow closer to team with Harry.
Okay.
Because it's Harry Link, image of myself, Harry Link.
So Harry. Closer to
Who's
the
the cat?
team, further away from the team, more into your own image of yourself.
Has to be closer to the team.
With all the comfort and support, I should think so.
Yeah, that's true. Making him look good in front of his mom.
Have to choose.
You think about it. Link, what do you say?
I'm going to stay close to the team. I'm kind of divided, but I'll say Concord this time because I was going to call him and he was going to text me, so I feel like that's where that came in. I do have one complication though.
Yeah, what's that?
I get 5 potential, so I can take an advance. I'm going to mark basically like the first next potential. For those who haven't caught up on the forums, Leo's probably going to become a paragon of the city pretty soon, but not now. So I have 2 choices for the advance I can take right now, which is either bank it for that, or somehow scrounge up 4 more XP before I retire. And I want to ask you folks, would you like to see a second moment of truth out of Link?
Yeah, sure.
I think that would be cool if we could somehow link that up to the whole thing with Vector. Or even it could even be in, well, I'm not sure a Bull's moment of truth is really the way to solve someone's like internal brain problems. That could be bad, but
It was last time.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I think that's certainly cool. And
he would save this for the bad future though, so that's probably where that would be said.
yeah, that'd be really cool to see, honestly.
Okay, so unlocked moment of truth second time. Took 1 potential, and Concord, you can shift my labels if you can.
If
Okay.
you can. And Harry, what did you end up going? Who did you end up going with?
Just to complete the circle, I'll go for Link. Sorry.
Link. All right. So Link, Concord, Link. No, Concord, Harry, Link, Concord. It's a lovely circle. It's a daisy chain. It's something.
By the way, Joyce, I also hit an advancement, so I have to figure out what I'm going to do there.
Cool. Awesome.
We'll work towards the future.
Sounds good. When you did your moment of truth, did you lock a label?
Sure.
Which one did you lock? You broke up for a second. I didn't hear it.
Here, it's got a tick mark on it.
Okay, cool. All right, great.
My freak wasn't maxed, so.
Of course.
So.
I've been
Good
watching a
one to
couple.
go down.
Yeah, I've been watching a couple of things, and it's been interesting to me how many people, like, there's lots of people who lock a stat and like they don't lock it at 3. They're like, I want it at whatever.
I will point this out to everybody. I locked my savior at 3 about 15 game sessions ago. I have never rolled savior ever again.